A small business often holds more private data than it realizes, and the pile grows faster than most owners notice. Customer details, email addresses, loyalty data, invoices, payroll information, supplier records, booking histories and operational logs all sit across laptops, phones, cloud apps and shared folders. The moment this information exists, it becomes a target. Privacy, online privacy and cybersecurity stop being buzzwords and turn into daily responsibilities. A breach, a credential theft or a ransomware attack can stop a small business cold, and in many cases the business never fully recovers. The first responsibility is knowing what you hold. This sounds trivial, yet many incidents begin with forgotten data in forgotten systems. A simple data map cuts through the fog. It shows where private data lies, who has access to it, how sensitive it is and what might happen if it leaks or is tampered with. A local dentist may hold appointment notes, referral letters, insurance data and patient contact details across multiple systems. A small e-commerce shop may hold customer delivery addresses, order histories, payment confirmations and email marketing lists in 5 different cloud services. A craft brewery may have supplier pricing, recipes, staff details and licensing documents stored in a mix of spreadsheets and shared drives. The point is simple: you cannot protect what you cannot see. Data discovery is not theory. It is the foundation for every other responsibility. The next responsibility is access control. Attackers do not break in through walls. They slip in with stolen credentials, reused passwords and forgotten staff accounts. Role-based access trims exposure so only the right people can reach the right information. A bookkeeper needs access to payroll, but not to cloud storage full of customer photos. A receptionist needs access to calendars, not financial systems. Multi-factor authentication strengthens this barrier. It makes stolen passwords much less useful. It belongs on email accounts, accounting platforms, payroll systems, cloud storage, booking software and anything that holds private data. When employees or contractors leave, their access must be removed within hours, not months. Every stale account is an unlocked door waiting to be tried by someone who bought a password list on the dark web. Devices and networks create the third responsibility. Small businesses run on laptops, tablets, phones, routers, payment terminals and cloud apps. When one device is weak, the entire environment becomes weak. Security updates remove known vulnerabilities that attackers look for automatically. Removing unused apps and closing out old accounts prevents attackers from using forgotten entry points. Encrypting laptops and portable drives protects private data in ordinary real-world scenarios like a stolen backpack or a lost device in a ride-share. Routers must have strong passwords and updated firmware. Remote access into office systems needs to be restricted, logged and tied to strong authentication. These are not enterprise-grade tasks. They are built into mainstream tools and require more discipline than money. Backups create the fourth responsibility, and this is where many small businesses fail quietly. A backup that has never been tested is as dangerous as having none. A reliable backup strategy has 3 parts. First, version backups that allow recovery from ransomware, accidental deletion or corrupted files. Second, off-site or cloud backups that survive physical theft, fire or water damage. Third, regular test restores that prove the process works under pressure. A backup is not a checkbox. It is the only thing that prevents ransomware from shutting down operations permanently. Monitoring and detection form the 5th responsibility. Real-time security operations centers are unrealistic for small businesses, but basic monitoring is not. Cloud platforms already provide login alerts, device health notifications, failed login reports and unusual activity warnings. A small business only needs to turn them on, route them to someone responsible and act when something looks wrong. Phishing groups often test stolen passwords days or weeks before a major attack. Early detection stops these attempts before they turn into a breach. Even something as simple as monitoring logins from new countries can uncover an attack early enough to stop it. The 6th responsibility is human training. Attackers target people, not firewalls. Staff are busy, distracted and naturally trusting, which makes phishing the most common cause of small business breaches. Short, regular training that shows how fake invoices, malicious links and fraudulent login pages work can shift behavior fast. Demonstrating how attackers mimic suppliers or imitate cloud services builds intuition. Training must be practical, not academic. Staff also need a safe way to report suspicious activity, even if they think it might be nothing. A culture where people hesitate to report a mistake is a culture that guarantees breaches. Legal and privacy obligations create the 7th responsibility. In Australia, the Privacy Act sets standards for handling personal information and reporting serious breaches. Some small businesses fall below the official thresholds, yet many still adopt higher standards because customers demand it and insurers increasingly require it. Businesses dealing with EU residents must meet GDPR requirements. GDPR enforces strict rules, clear consent, purpose limits, minimal data collection, encryption, disciplined access control, and rapid breach reporting. Even if a law does not apply today, commercial contracts and customer expectations often impose similar duties. Privacy has become part of modern business credibility. Vendor and cloud risk form the eighth responsibility. A small business might use 10 to 20 cloud services without realizing it: accounting platforms, CRM systems, marketing tools, online booking systems, POS terminals, inventory systems, payment processors, survey tools, mailing lists, and file storage. Each vendor represents another place where private data sits. When a vendor is breached, the small business still absorbs reputational damage. A basic vendor check takes minutes. What data does this vendor store? Where is it stored? Does the vendor encrypt data? Does it support multi-factor authentication? Has it suffered breaches? Does it rely on subcontractors? Vendor review does not need to be exhaustive. It just needs to be consistent. Documentation forms the ninth responsibility and is the key that turns cybersecurity from improvisation into governance. An incident response plan clarifies who acts, who communicates, and what steps to take when a breach occurs. A simple asset inventory lists devices, accounts, software licenses, and cloud services so nothing is forgotten. A short risk register highlights the biggest cyber threats and the controls already in place. Training records confirm that staff have been briefed. These documents do not need complex tools. A shared folder updated quarterly is enough to turn chaos into structure. The final responsibility is resilience. Cybersecurity does not eliminate risk. It limits damage. Small businesses face the same threat landscape as large organizations, but with less budget and fewer staff. Attackers do not care about your size. They care about your weaknesses. A stolen password, an unpatched device, or a weak vendor can trigger a chain reaction that cripples operations. Yet the responsibilities that protect a small business are achievable at low cost. Map your data. Control access with intention. Harden your devices. Test your backups. Turn on monitoring. Train your people. Respect privacy law. Question your vendors. Keep simple records. Each responsibility builds a layer of stability. Together they create a level of protection strong enough for the realities of today's digital economy. Cybersecurity for small businesses is not about perfection. It is about survival and continuity. It is about turning a bad day into a recoverable incident instead of a terminal one. When responsibilities become habits, even the smallest business can stand firm in a world where digital threats grow faster than most owners can see. To make these responsibilities even more concrete, it helps to translate them into everyday scenarios that small business owners recognize. Picture a busy cafe that uses an online roster tool, a cloud-based point-of-sale system, a separate loyalty app, and a low-cost accounting package. Staff log into shared tablets, managers approve rosters from their phones, and the owner checks sales figures at night from a home laptop. Without clear responsibilities, passwords are shared informally, old staff accounts stay active for months, and no one quite knows which cloud app holds which slice of private data. One phishing email sent to a shared inbox could give an attacker enough access to export customer contact lists, copy recent invoices, and tamper with bank account details on supplier records. Now consider a small professional services firm such as an architecture studio or a digital agency. Project files move between email, cloud storage, collaboration tools, and design software. Client data includes plans, budgets, photos, scanned documents, and sometimes confidential strategic information. A single lost laptop without encryption can leak years of work. An attacker who compromises a shared cloud drive can quietly harvest sensitive data over weeks. When responsibilities around data mapping, access control, device security, and backups are clear, the firm can take a stolen laptop or a compromised account in stride. Devices can be remotely wiped, accounts can be locked, and data can be recovered from clean backups with minimal disruption. These scenarios show why responsibilities are not theoretical or reserved for large enterprises. They are woven into the daily behavior of everyone in the business. A receptionist who locks their screen, a manager who approves access requests carefully, and an owner who insists on multi-factor authentication are all fulfilling cybersecurity responsibilities in small, steady steps. The impact compounds over time. Incident-free weeks turn into incident-free years, not because threats disappear, but because they bounce off a more disciplined environment. Finally, there is a responsibility that sits above all others: leadership. Small business cybersecurity fails when leaders treat it as an IT problem or a one-off project. It works when they treat it as part of running a trustworthy business. Leaders set the tone by asking simple questions in regular meetings. Have we checked our backups this month? Did we remove access for the staff who left last week? Are all key systems using multi-factor authentication yet? Have we reviewed our main vendors this year? These questions do not require technical expertise, just consistent curiosity and a willingness to act on the answers. When leadership treats privacy, online privacy and cybersecurity as non-negotiable parts of business practice, everyone else follows. Responsibilities stop feeling like extra tasks and start feeling like normal behavior. In that environment, customers notice. They see fewer mistakes, fewer embarrassing incidents, and more honest communication when something does go wrong. Over time, that trust becomes a competitive advantage that can't easily be matched by discount or marketing campaigns.